Welcome back for another video. For the next video in the pre-season series, it's that time of the year to look at your bold predictions for the 2025-26 season. Some of these are absolutely outrageous. Over the years, we've actually had some spectacular predictions that have come off making them look like a genius, but we've had a lot of disasters as well. If you can think of a bold prediction, leave it in the comments below. And you can come back to it at the end of the season if it comes off, otherwise just pretend it never happened. Before we start, just literally this morning, Scout have launched a completely revamped members area. You can see here just how incredible it looks now. My favourite tools are Player Comparison, which uses Optastats, the Ticker tool with loads of customization, the Data Tables where you can create your own tables or you can search my name to use my ones, and Player Projections. Plus you get hundreds of articles over the season if that's your thing, award-winning articles. Use the link below to get a 47% discount for pre-season. It supports the channel as well. So, FPL Fran says Palmer's going to outscore Salah this season. Now, let's not forget, it did happen once before, 2 years ago, when Palmer first signed for Chelsea. But the other crucial factor, which does make this a bit of a sneaky prediction, is Salah does go to AFCON in Game Week 17, and he could be gone for like 5 game weeks if he has a deep cup run. The past 2 seasons, Salah has registered a higher XGI than Palmer, more shots taken as well. I mean, Liverpool's squad has evolved multiple times over the years, and it certainly has this season, but one constant has been Salah. Always 200 plus points in his Liverpool career. Obviously there has been some fluctuations in his totals. Last season he scored exactly 100 more points than Palmer's best season, so it'll take some doing. Palmer will have to do even better, Salah will need to regress, but it's not out of the question. I'm going to predict that this does happen as well. What do you reckon? Big 4 FPL says Evanilson bangs a 20 goal season in 25-26. I had to include this one because he's actually made it into my latest draft. He's 7 million, and don't get me wrong, it is a horrendous opening fixture away to Liverpool, but the fixtures do look better beyond that. He was prolific in the Portuguese league before he signed, and he did take some time to settle at Bournemouth last season, then he got injured. Still managed 15 goal involvements and 28 appearances though. One of my favourite metrics for FPL use is minutes per XGI. It provides a lot more context than just a total number basically. Like one player could have started all 38 games over the season, another one might have been injured and started significantly fewer games. Despite taking time to settle, he had 163 minutes per XGI last season, which places him 5th among forwards after Haaland, Isak, Wissa and Watkins. Bournemouth have of course been decimated at the back with players leaving, but they have at least held on to their mids and forwards, so hopefully their attack's still in check. It's not out of the question for Bournemouth to score in Game Week 1 either, let's be honest. Like, it is a new look backline for Liverpool. FPL Bronx says Tarkowski will be the top scoring defender. The data suggests that he will be one of the biggest beneficiaries of the new defensive contributions rule. If you go to player stats and then go to defenders and then select defending, there's defensive contribution stats here for last season. Tarkowski with the second most last season behind Murillo, who did play 3 more games. Going back to that earlier point about per 90 stats, let's tick per 90 to see who's racking up the DCs most regularly, and let's also set it to a minimum of 10 appearances, otherwise you might get some players who had like 2 games and just put up good stats in those cameos. So yeah, look, Bednarek, we've got Howson and Wellington, obviously they're not in the Prem, so let's ignore them. Tarkowski number 1 for DCs per 90 with 10.97. Also interestingly, 4.5mm defenders Anderson and Senesi also did really well, with just under 10 per game on average. Remember, a defender needs 10 in any given game to get 2 additional points. Again, link below if you want to play around with these member tools. Obviously, as you can see, there's loads to take advantage of here. You can get a bit lost in all the tools. My question is, are we getting baited by the DCs to a degree, or are they well and truly the meta now? The best bet, and this is just early thoughts, is that maybe the teams that are hybrid of clean sheet potential and DC generators. So yeah, Everton and Forest, they got 12 and 13 clean sheets last season and loads of DC points. Arsenal kept 13 clean sheets as well, but they're far worse for defensive contributions because they control games regularly. Yeah, I think it's a great change overall. Like, it really opens up so many more options in the game. Suddenly we're looking at defensive mids that have never been an option in, 22 years of FPL. And in theory, this change should also benefit the engaged managers like us. Yaniv says Bruno's going to hit 240 points this season. Yeah, I mean, Man United fans are rightfully excited with 2 top quality attackers added to the team in Cunha and Mbeumo. who, yeah, Bruno can generate loads of chances for as well. Some have argued that with those two joining, Bruno will sit deeper now. We'll have to see. He scored a brace in pre-season just the other day against West Ham. One of those a pen. One of them was a quality effort outside the box. But yeah, he didn't have the two guys on the pitch at the time. It was a shocking season for Man United last year, the worst one they've had in the Premier League era. And yet, had the new DC and assist rules been in place, in terms of Bruno specifically, he would have finished on 193 points. So yeah, I mean, about another 5 goals, 5 assists would have been needed to hit that 240 mark. I'm going to say this one doesn't happen, but he'll have a very good FPL season. Brentford Hive, with surely an unbiased opinion, says Thiago bags 20 goals this season if he stays fit. He's a really interesting one because he's only 6 mil and there's really a lack of super cheap strikers right now. And Bumo has gone, and Wissa could be leaving as well. If that happens as well, they're going to have no one else. Like, he's going to be the main man up top that they're generating the chances for. Of course, they will replace Wissa, but Thiago you'd think would be the main man for a while. Wissa was the same price last season. He started at 6 mil and he bagged 18 goals without penalties. And you'd imagine he assumes pen duties as well. He's taken 11 in his career, he's missed 2. I'm going to say this one doesn't happen either, but if he does stay injury free and he becomes nailed as the main man, he'll be an excellent value pick for 6 mil. Clean Kit says Gyokeres Golden Boot. Yeah, this one seems to be an incredibly divisive signing. I should acknowledge that lots of you also sent predictions saying he's going to be a massive flop, while lots said Golden Boot winner. Last season, in 33 appearances in the Portuguese league, he scored 39 plus 8 assists. But of course, as we all know, it's a huge step up to the Premier League. In his defence, he did bag a hat-trick against Man City in the Champions League, didn't he? So he does have it in him. I'm going to play devil's advocate on the Gyokeres Game Week 1 hype. So first of all, he's had no pre-season with Arsenal or Sporting, so he's going to lack match fitness. Secondly, Arteta loves Havertz and he has been playing well in pre-season. He really does have a thing for him, and I won't be surprised if he carries on playing up top rather than pull back as a left-sided 10 next to Odegaard. Initially, I think they might share minutes, but yeah, if Gyokeres does take his chances, he could quickly lock down that spot. My thoughts are that I'm going to avoid him initially and just see how he settles in. One approach you could take, and I know lots of you have already seen this, is you start off with Watkins, who of course is the same price, he's proven in the Prem, and then you've got that option to just pivot sideways with one free transfer if you wish. Or if he doesn't go up in price, I suppose, he could hit the ground running and you're priced out, and then it's 2 moves, but you get the point. Praz says Pep's going to shave off his mustache. Yeah, in addition to all the other changes, defensive contributions, double chips, AFCON transfers, Pep's now got a tash as well. I think Praz is bang on the money as usual here. It probably won't last the season. Last one. Lucas says Rodgers is a top 3 to top 5 midfield point scorer this season, and he blows his price increase out of the water. I really like this one because it's easy to be put off by a big price increase. However, when players are on a really steep trajectory upwards, the year after that suddenly it can look like, a 7 mil price tag is a bargain. Like Saka, for example, he was 5.5 mil. Next season he went up to 6.5, where he got 179 points, which is amazing output for 6.5 mil. The next season he was 8 mil, he got 202 points, and then he was 8.5 mil, and then he was 10 mil. Some of you might be familiar with 11ify. He makes his own FPL model to basically guide all his decisions, and using that he's got 4 top 10Ks in 6 years, which is really interesting. His average career rank is 10K. And he's just shared this table, which I think you're going to find really interesting. So what are we looking at here? Well, this is the projected goal involvements for all players over the opening 6 game weeks, which assumes that they start, of course. So Haaland's actually top, and then it's Salah, and then it's Palmer. Gyokeres comes in straight at number 6. But yeah, look, Rodgers here, he places 10th among all players, which is really encouraging given his cheaper price tag to some others there comparatively. Wirtz is actually very marginally behind Rodgers even, but yeah, it's really, really hard to project how a new player will do, and the models, in fairness, will take time to catch up once the first ball is kicked. But by the way, going back to the point on Evanilson, he also has one that specifically looks at projected goals, not goal involvements, and Evanilson ranks really well in that one, ahead of the likes of Saka, Bowen, Strand Larsen and João Pedro to name a few. So what's your prediction for the season? Drop it in the comments below. Hit subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video in the pre-season series. See you soon for the next one.